Bayer and BBB directors exchange barbs over Warts Liverpool move. Bayer and BBB directors exchange barbs over Warts Liverpool move. Bayer Leverkusen chief Fernando Caro has rejected fresh criticism over the sale of Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. Bayer sold the Germany attacker to Liverpool for a fee rising to £125 million. And Borussia Dortmund chief Hans-Joachim Watzke admits he was sorry to see the deal happen as it weakens the Bundesliga. It's a real shame, especially for the DFL, that a player like Florian Wirtz is leaving the Bundesliga, Watzke told Kicker. I wouldn't have had a problem at all if he had gone to FC Bayern. That would have been better for the Bundesliga. It doesn't really matter for the national team. He'll play at the highest level in Liverpool too. He could have worked better with Jamal Musiala in Munich, but two such good footballers can find each other anyway. In response, Caro snapped, honestly, yes, I have a different opinion than Hans-Joachim Watzke. I don't understand how he, as the boss of Borussia Dortmund, could have been happy if Wirtz had gone to Munich. That would have made Bayern even stronger. I want an exciting Bundesliga. I'm happy when more clubs besides us make life difficult for Bayern because I believe that benefits the Bundesliga. Better signing than Mbeumo, Man Utd in talks to land exceptional £60 million ace. Manchester United have been constantly pursuing a move for Brentford star Bryan Mbeumo throughout this summer window, but it appears their persistence has finally paid off. The Red Devils managed to agree a deal with the Bees for the 25-year-old forward in a move that could reach up to £71 million should all the add-ons be reached in the future. There's no denying that it's a huge fee for a player who's only had one top-level season in the Premier League, but it highlights the ambition shown by the board this window. The Cameroonian international registered 20 league goals last time around, over 2 times more than any player within Ruben Amorim's side that finished the 2024-25 campaign. However, despite agreeing to such a hefty sum for the forward, the hierarchy appear to be continuing their hunt for added reinforcements, including the signing of one player who could prove to be a better addition than that of Mbeumo. The latest on United's hunt for new additions this summer, Emiliano Martinez is one high-profile signing. United are looking to complete during this summer's market, with the Aston Villa shot-stopper available for a fee in the region of just £21 million. It's been reported that the player himself would be keen on a move to Old Trafford, potentially taking advantage of Villa's PSR situation, which could require player sales before the end of the window. However, another player has emerged as a potential target for the Red Devils during the offseason, with RB Leipzig star Xavi Simons on their radar, according to Sport via Sport Witness. They claim that higher-ups from United have already had meetings with the Dutch international's representatives over a possible transfer before the September 1st deadline. It also states they aren't alone in their hunt for the 22-year-old, with Chelsea also firmly in the race for his signature, leading to a £60 million price tag being mooted. Why United's £60 million target would be a better signing than Mbeumo? Given his tally of goals last season, it's no surprise that a deal for Mbeumo would excite the fan base, subsequently handing Amorim the clinical talent he's lacked in attacking areas since arriving. However, the 25-year-old mainly operated in a wide right role at Brentford last season, a position which he won't be able to occupy at Old Trafford, given the manager's 3-4-2-1 system. It's already confirmed that he won't be utilized as a striker, leaving the Cameroonian to play in one of the 2 number 10 positions behind the striker, potentially partnering Matheus Cunha in providing the goods. Such a deal could prove to be a risk, splashing serious money on a player and utilizing him in a slightly unfamiliar role, especially considering the other options available this summer. As seen by their attempts to convince Simons to join the club have been targeting countless options, with the Dutchman a much bigger talent than Mbeumo. He's a younger star, subsequently having the potential to explode into an elite-level talent in the years ahead, and would have even been a cheaper deal given his £60 million valuation placed on his shoulders by the Bundesliga outfit. However, when comparing his stats to those of the pending new arrival, he managed to outperform him in multiple areas, highlighting why he'd be a better signing for Amorim's system. Simons, who's been labeled phenomenal by Uptohan, may have been outscored, but did manage to post a better goal per shot on target rate than Mbeumo, showcasing he's more clinical with the chances he's presented with in front of goal. He also completed more key passes per 90, along with more progressive passes per 90, having the end product to allow those ahead of him to find the back of the net, a crucial component for any number 10 in the modern game. The Leipzig star's dominance doesn't stop there, completing more take-ons per 90, highlighting the ability he possesses with the ball at his feet, offering a more all-round threat than United's soon-to-be £71 million signing. Given the difference in figures produced and the price tags between the pair, it's evident that a deal for Simons would be a better signing for the Red Devils this summer. Both players possess a lot of talent, but ultimately, if the club are to reach the next level in the years ahead, they need to be making the correct calls in the market, something which they've failed to do once again if they land Bomo over Simons. Alexander Isak's absence explained as Newcastle star misses friendly after Liverpool approach. The Reds asked Newcastle about Isak's availability earlier this week, but did not lodge an official bid. Despite training this week, the striker is not involved in Saturday's game at Celtic Park. Alexander Isak was absent for Newcastle's opening game of pre-season. Liverpool transfer target. Alexander Isak was missing from Newcastle United's matchday squad against Celtic on Saturday as the Magpies continue their pre-season plans. Eddie Howe's side began its summer friendlies with a clash against Carlisle United last Saturday, and after training in Austria this week, Newcastle returned to the UK for Saturday's clash at Celtic Park. All eyes were naturally on Isak, given the speculation surrounding his future in recent days. Liverpool inquired about his availability this week, but did not launch an official bid for the Sweden star before turning its attention to Hugo Ekitike. The Magpies had previously been in talks about signing the Eintracht Frankfurt forward. Meanwhile, several reports on Friday claimed Isak is open to the possibility of joining Al Hilal, who ironically is owned by Newcastle's majority shareholders, the Saudi Arabia private investment fund. Given the speculation and intrigue surrounding his future, there was surprise to see Isak had been left out of the matchday squad on Saturday, but Sky Sports reporter Keith Downey claimed via X that for both he and Joelinton, their minutes are being managed this early in preseason. The Newcastle team does contain several big names, with Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, and Bruno Guimaraes starting, and Sandro Tonali, Anthony Gordon, and Anthony Elanga on the bench. Newcastle faces Celtic on Saturday afternoon at Celtic Park. After Saturday's game in Glasgow, like Liverpool, Newcastle jets off to Asia for a preseason tour. The Magpies face Arsenal, a K-League mission, in Tottenham Hotspur before returning to England. Newcastle's final preseason games come at home to Espanyol and Atletico Madrid on August 8th and 9, which will give players the opportunity to get 90 minutes in their legs. The Northeast side faces Liverpool in its first home game of the season on August 25th. In the meantime, Newcastle has been linked with a move for Brentford striker Yoane Wissa, with a deal for Ekitike seemingly blown out of the water by the Reds. Isak's future at Newcastle remains uncertain. As for Isak, his future remains uncertain. Reports have indicated the Liverpool will return with a bid for the player if the approach for Ekitike collapses. He is widely considered the best striker on the market this summer, although Newcastle has repeatedly insisted it has no plans to sell the 25-year-old, who netted 27 goals last season, including 2 against Liverpool. A move for Isak would likely indicate a departure for Darwin Núñez. The Liverpool striker has attracted interest from Saudi Arabia this summer, although Napoli's signing of Lorenzo Luca means Núñez is unlikely to end up at the Serie A champions. Arsenal and Sporting failed to agree Gyökeres terms in time for tour. Arsenal's pursuit of Sporting Lisbon striker Viktor Gyökeres has reportedly hit another snag, with the Swedish forward not expected to travel with the Gunners to Asia for their preseason tour. Mail Sport understands that the clubs are close to an agreement on a deal worth an initial £55 million, with a further £7.4 million in add-ons, while Gyökeres has agreed a 5-year contract. Arsenal had hoped the move would be sealed in time for Gyökeres to fly to Asia for their tour, which kicks off next Wednesday. But according to Portuguese outlet Abola, Gyökeres has remained in Sweden and will not be among the traveling party departing from London on Saturday. The reason reportedly lies in the lack of agreement between Arsenal and Sporting, with talks dragging on over the structure of the deal. The clubs remain at odds over bonus payments and the schedule of installments, with Sporting pushing for more of the fee up front. Victor Gyökeres will not join Arsenal on Saturday as they leave for their pre-season tour of Asia. Mail Sport understands that the clubs are close to an agreement on a deal worth an initial £55 million, with a further £7.4 million in add-ons. But talks between the two clubs are still dragging on regarding the structure of the deal. There is also believed to be disagreement over solidarity contributions and training compensation. Minor but essential details that have so far prevented a deal from being sealed. During their tour of Asia, Arsenal are set to face AC Milan and Newcastle in Singapore. Then North London rivals Tottenham in Hong Kong. If the club get a deal for Gyökeres over the line, the striker would likely have to wait until August 6th when the Gunners host Villarreal in their first pre-season game back from Asia. After that, Mikel Arteta's side conclude their summer preparations against Athletic Club before kicking off the Premier League season away at Manchester United. Gyökeres has enjoyed a stunning two-year spell in the Portuguese top flight, netting 97 times in just 102 appearances for Sporting. He scored 54 club goals last term across all competitions and is rated as one of the most prolific forwards in Europe. Should he seal a move to Arsenal, the 27-year-old will depart Sporting, having earned 2 league titles in the Portuguese Cup during his time at the club. Gyökeres joined Sporting in a £20 million move from Coventry in 2023, where he had scored 43 goals in 2.5 seasons. Gyökeres, who scored 54 goals last season, has agreed a 5-year contract at the Emirates. Having previously struggled to break into the first team at Brighton, Gyökeres has previously spoken of his desire to return to the English top flight, to get revenge for his empty spell with the Seagulls. "It's one of the biggest leagues in Europe," Gyökeres said. "I spent several years there without being able to play a single match. So of course it's something I would like to do. It would be a great revenge." Gyökeres would end Arsenal's long search for a high-quality center forward, providing Arteta's squad with a boost as they aim to secure a first Premier League title in 22 years. Man Utd's main reason for exiling Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, revealed as Ruben Amorim receives backing from board. Manchester United's shocking decision to exile Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho has been traced back to one major reason: full backing for Ruben Amorim's system and authority. The Portuguese manager's desire to implement his 3-4-2-1 formation without compromise has left the duo surplus to requirements as United prepare for a new era under Amorim. Rashford, Garnacho exiled to support Amorim. Man Utd willing to sell 4 wingers this summer. Amorim backed fully after Derby win without duo. What happened? Manchester United are prepared to offload Rashford and Garnacho, having previously frozen them out of first-team plans under Amorim. The pair were notably dropped for the Manchester Derby win at the Etihad just weeks after Amorim took charge. Amorim has since received the club's full support to reshape the squad in line with his tactical vision. The bigger picture. Manchester United's willingness to part ways with Rashford, Garnacho, Antony and Jadon Sancho underscores their long-term commitment to Amorim. The manager's preferred 3-4-2-1 system requires defensive discipline in wide areas, something he felt the quartet lacked. Club chiefs are adamant that no player will be allowed to challenge Amorim's authority or disrupt his project, as per Manchester Evening News. Tell me more. Rashford and Antony were both sent out on loan last season, while Garnacho was told in May that he could leave. The club also attempted to offload Sancho permanently to Chelsea, who declined and instead paid a £5 million, $6.7 million penalty to avoid a full transfer. Meanwhile, all 4 wingers along with Terrell Malaysia reported for pre-season but have been sidelined from the main group. What next for Man Utd? United are exploring permanent exits for Rashford, Garnacho and Sancho, though the trio's high wages could complicate matters. Amorim is expected to bring in at least one new forward more suited to his tactical blueprint. With Amorim fully backed, the club's focus now turns to building a disciplined and positionally flexible squad. With Amorim fully backed, the club's focus now turns to building a disciplined and positionally flexible squad.